If you're going to live a big ticket life and do business in life on your terms, you got to do big things. It's that kind of discernment, that kind of focus, that kind of forward thinking that's so important if you're going to succeed in business today. And so you unlock fortune and freedom without all the stress that normally comes along with it. The things that make your life successful so you do life and business on your terms. Yeah. Well, this thing is official, off the ground. Welcome. I am so very excited to be on this journey, help share with you all of these really great things that can help you unlock fortune freedom so you get to truly do life and business on your terms. I cannot thank my friend Chris Stone at Cast Ahead Productions enough. He's going to be with us throughout the day. You'll talk with him, or we'll have him on the screen a little later. But none of this would have happened. None of what you're going to experience today would happen without him. So it's just amazing. We're going to be doing some really great work together today. We're actually going to be giving back together today. Here's how. So this is an interactive show. I want you to comment. All right. So you can comment on my Facebook channel, which you should be able to do because this is a public post. You can comment on the YouTube feed. All right. If you're catching this through a group, you'll need to go to either my Facebook page or the YouTube page. You can get there really easily by going to thebigticketlife.live. No matter where you're watching this from, you can get to the proper feed that you get your comment in. And here's why you want to comment. Because each day I'm going to we're going to spin the prize-a-later wheel, draw a comment at random, and your charity that you're most passionate about, I'm going to donate $100 to. So we're going to do that today, tomorrow, and Thursday. All right. So right now, let's get this started. Comment with your favorite charity. Just type that right in wherever you're watching this. Again, needs to go on my personal Facebook or on the YouTube channel. If you're not sure, just type thebigticketlife.live and that'll get you where you're in, and your comment is in, and you can just watch there and continue to comment because we're going to get busy, get interactive with this. All right. So again, commenting enters you to win the donation in your name. All right. I'll make it in your name. That's how we're going to do some good together. So I'm very excited about what we're doing. Today, tomorrow, Thursday really is multi-purpose, but it's focused on helping you win that battle on Main Street, win on Main Street in the Amazon world, unlocking fortune and freedom without the stress so you do life and business on your terms. That's what we're all about here at the Big Ticket Life. And next week, we formally launch the Big Ticket Life podcast. And I've already got an amazing roster of guests lined up for that podcast. You're going to be blown away by the people I bring forward to you who are also doing life and business on their terms. And I can't wait to bring that to you. So today, the big agenda, overarching, I've got a big question for you. You might have seen it scrolling on the banner below. ChEvO, we'll talk about what a ChEvO is and if you are one or not. Baggage and response, and then squish proof. So that's the big agenda that we're going to be working on. So right into the first thing, the big question for you. What are you looking for? Seriously, what are you looking for in your life, right? Not the legacy you seek to create and leave 30, 40, 50 years from now. What are you looking for in your life right now? I want you to move past the moment, even move past today, move past this week and month. What is the impact you wish to give right now, right? And I said now, not leaving that legacy 30, 40, 50 years from now, which isn't all that clear. And you might not even think about it. You might have thought about it in more of a, hey, this is the type of thing I hope people say. This is how I hope I'm remembered. I want you to think about what you're looking for, how you can give it and impact people right now, today. Because why wait, right? Why not be impactful right now? It makes you a better leader, makes you a better person, and puts you on that path to life and business on your terms. So our time together is about how to beat Amazon, right? And I talk about Amazon kind of as like, Ubering has become a verb, even though you don't jump in an Uber, it might be a limo or another rideshare service, right? I talk about Amazon and winning on Main Street in an Amazon world more as an overarching theme, right? Amazon can mean Amazon. It can mean big national competition that you do battle with, right? That you go up against. It could mean equity, equity owned. They play with a different checkbook math where like nothing they do makes sense. You have to balance your checkbook every day, right? So that's kind of under this theme of winning on Main Street in an Amazon world. It could be publicly traded Wall Street type companies. All right. So that's what our time today, tomorrow, Thursday is going to be about. How we win that battle on Main Street, how we do it in an Amazon world. All right. Stay tuned. I want you here. If you're somebody selling face-to-face, toes-to-toes, you're doing business on Main Street. Maybe you don't have a retail location. Maybe you do. All the better if you do, because a lot of what I talk about is focused on that. But look, if you're up against that Amazon big box chain equity Wall Street type of competition, you're selling face-to-face, I'm your guy. I'm not your guy if you're an e-commerce drop shipper, Shopify, Amazon ad. Those things are all great. I wish you nothing but success. And I hope you could talk and hang out here with me today, but maybe we don't jive 100% together. All right. So that's who we serve. That's who I look to help. That's who I hope leaves with a ton of inspiration and a ton of things to think about and take action on today and set that course to life and business on your terms. So it is about that new path forward. It is about a new foundation in this digital world. And our world is really kind of quickly evolving, and that ball is spinning faster and faster. And these things seem to like 10x themselves almost daily. So the only way to win in that regard is if you have a proper foundation, right? A proper foundation to properly lead yourself, lead your family, lead your team, lead your industry. It's the only way that this works. We can't possibly fight up against some of these bigger, more financed, more well-heeled competitors, not head to head. We can win the war. We just have to choose the battle to fight in and win. And that's what our time is really going to be about. So this has been pushed out to a lot of places. I hope that everybody's been able to kind of connect. I'd love to have you type in what type of business you're in right now. So, whether that's retail, whether that's insurance, you're a real estate agent, sell cars, home remodeling, roofing, chiropractor, whatever. Type your business in the comments. Again, that gets you in the comments to win. And we'd love for you to win a donation to your charity when you comment. So type that in now, what your business is. I'd love to see who we've all got on the line. If you think about it, if you'd like to comment as well, if you're an owner, a partner, a manager, type that in too. All right. Just kind of gives me a feel for what we have, who's here, type of thing. All right. Not that dictates what I'm going to share, but it's always nice to know. So I want to introduce everybody to Chris Stone. He is the creator, founder, chief amazing officer at Cast Ahead Productions. True friend, true partner. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Jeff. Chief everything officer. I need to change my business cards now. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's an honor to join you on the screen. Known you for a number of months, Jeff, and it's always great to sharpen the irons with you, my friend. And really looking forward to seeing just the impact that this is going to have on a lot of people's lives on Main Street. So like you said, today's interactive. So if you're watching out there, If you just go to the bigticketlife.live, that just directs you to the YouTube channel, where of course we love it if you subscribe and hit the bell. And so,
Thank you.
when Jeff goes live with those fantastic interviews next week, and of course the shows that are coming as well the later this week, you'll get reminded. And we've got a comment here from Harvey, who does credit counseling. He's the proud owner of Silver Dog Credit. So we appreciate the comment. And of course, we know what kind of business this guy's in.
That's right.
He's
my partner.
That's right.
He's
not with
partner
Shopify. He's not a drop shipper. We do know that.
No, that's right. And again, I didn't say that to be disrespectful to anybody. It's just, there's specificity in life, and I don't play in that world. I believe what I'm going to share can inspire you and help you, but I might not be able to talk about how to grow that type of business,
right?
Per se,
right. So,
and that's all right.
Yeah. So Harvey, you're entered to win. So let us know what your favorite charity is. We want to make sure that, and Ben, you're commenting as well. So anytime anyone comments, they're entered to win. We've got the prize-a-later back here fired up. I've cranked it up it's got enough gas in it.
We'll get it to 11 when it's time.
We'll get it to 11 and hit that prize-a-later, and $100 will be donated in your name to your favorite charity. So please hit us up in the comments, let us know, and we'll get the prize-a-later as named by Jeff Giannakovo
right.
going. So thanks again,
TM.
Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Very good. Well, I'm going to be showing tons of examples throughout our time together. Not so much today, but tomorrow and Thursday. So rather than consternate myself and Chris with putting everything on screen that you might not be able to read or see, what I want you to do is head on over to awesome charity, Harvey. I love animal shelters. I'm a foster home and rescue dog adopter myself. That's awesome. Thank you. So to get access to all the examples, and here's the big old box of stuff that I'll be sharing, examples that help a business owner live and run a big ticket life and business. What we're going to do with these examples is I'm going to do a session live next week. But you need to go to thebigticketlife.com/swipe file. Just shoot me your name and email there, and I'll get you in on that session. So when we dig into these today, tomorrow, not many today, tomorrow and Thursday specifically, you'll have access to that session. And I'm going to go real deep into those examples, answer questions live. All right. I kind of thought that was a cool way to distribute that to you. Okay. So we're going to jump in, talk about this word ChEvO, right? So we asked the big question, what you're looking for, what that is, and get clarity on it right now. So you have the most impact right now. So it's magnified today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, right? But when we talk about ChEvO, what in the world is a ChEvO? No, it's not a ChEvO, that orange, burnt thing your kids eat. ChEvO, right? Chief Everything Officer. And this is somebody that really kind of struggles to live a big ticket life, have a big ticket business that serves them first so they can serve everyone else phenomenally well and live and deliver on the impact they seek to give to this world, right? So ChEvOs kind of are on a spectrum, and you solve it by moving through this spectrum. So, business owners, we all kind of start out as entrepreneurs, right? We have this dream, we have this business we want, and we started out, we're involved in everything because that's the way it goes for the most part. And it's cool, but the problem is you're paid last. You're paid last in every regard, with sanity, with extra energy, extra mind share, extra mental awareness. You have a lot of fatigue from it, right? And you're paid last monetarily because you're birthing, creating this business. It's in its early stages. And for a lot of people, that early stage process kind of stays for a long time. They never really move on. That's one of the spectrums of where a chief everything officer, a ChEvO, exists. The other one is an owner, right? So the owner has moved on from entrepreneur. All right, they got some systems, but when they take days away, maybe even a half day, they take a vacation, they have a long weekend, that time away is filled with so much stress and disaster because they get back and they're coming back to like just a raging fire of problems. Maybe the problems follow them on vacation. The phone doesn't stop ringing. The emails keep coming in, but you're an owner, right? So you draw a salary, maybe not as consistently as you like, maybe not as much as you would like. Uh, but the reality of an owner's life as a ChEvO is they could go be a manager, a regional guy or gal uh, at their competition and probably make as much. And when the benefits package comes along, they probably make more, right? So really, they've got a good business. It pays them, but it's not that next level. To really break the chains of being a ChEvO, really move on, live a big ticket life. So your business, your life, you serve well, you have impact on others, is to shift into that investor seat in your own business. Okay. And an investor, here's the difference. An investor is anything but a ChEvO. All right. An investor gets paid first in the business making profits. They get profits from the business. And you're not needed in the business other than high-level strategies and functions to execute on to help grow the business and lead the business. But we're not talking about you being there to open the door and close the door. We're not talking about you changing the message on the machine. None of that. That's not what an investor does. An investor is only focused on the high-level strategies to grow and operate the business. The team does everything else. And when the investor takes time away, they are away. Now, maybe that's to work on other businesses, like I happen to be right here today, right now. Maybe they take a month-long vacation. They can drop out and drop into that business like that and have no problems in doing so. And they don't live a life of stress. They don't live a life of burden and mental worry where things are falling apart while they're away. All right. So the biggest areas where ChEvO's chief everything officers struggle is with sales behaviors, operations behaviors, customer satisfaction, the business of getting and keeping customers, those behaviors. And then really there's behaviors that just result in burnout, right? So the burnt out ChEvO is really a bad place to be. So our first exercise today, what I would love for you to do is get out a scrap piece of paper. Okay. And what we're going to do is have you take score at home of where your behaviors are. All right. And, you're in the privacy of your office here. So I want you to get a little vulnerable with yourself, but be honest with yourself, right? Because if you can't do that, it's kind of hard to go through life and lead people in an impactful way. But get a little piece of paper out, pen, and you're just going to hash mark style, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we go through these different behaviors. So, Chris, let's bring those on the screen. Let's bring the first behaviors of ChEvOs who struggle with sales. All right. So these are behaviors of chief everything officers that just really struggle to shift into that investor seat in their business. Only you can close the big deals. You routinely need to step in to close deals for your team. You hire quickly and you fire slowly. There's no email list that can be counted on. And you feel like you're at the mercy of Google and Facebook. And every time they change something, your business takes a hit. All right. So that is, those are the behavior, some behaviors of ChEvOs who struggle with sales. All right. Additionally, you eat today what you kill today, right? And you only make sales with fresh blood on the floor, in the store, or on the phone. All right. So only when you're in front of somebody are you making money. And that goes back to what I said about getting contact information like emails and cell phones and addresses. Like you are literally eating today what you kill today. And that's a really bad place to be in. The only dependable income is from somebody ready to buy today. And you feel like you don't know how or when the door will swing or the phone's going to ring. So even if you have a pipeline, even if you have some of these things built, you're not using them, and you've got a dry pipeline, which is the equivalent of having not having a pipeline at all. All right. So we had about eight or so behaviors there where ChEvOs who struggle with sales seem to live and have a ceiling they hit, right? So just Mark that down. We'll have you tell us your score here when we're at the end. All right. So behaviors of ChEvOs who struggle with operations of their business, right? So not struggling with these things means you're in the investor seat in regards to operations in your business. So you focus solely on what your industry does, looking only inward at your peers for what to do next. When a problem occurs, only you can fix it, and it's got to be that way. At least that's your current belief. In your home, you're handling some emergency. So like you never can get away from the business. It always follows you no matter where you go. You hire poorly. You also, if we can move to the next slide, there we go. You have no direction because the business has no mission. It's got no purpose and no values. You struggle to fill that pipeline with contact information. Like it's a problem to ask someone in front of you, whether that's a lead, a prospect, or a customer, for more information. You have no value to give to get that information, which is important. And you don't organize it anywhere where it's useful for you. We are in a data age. I said, I'm not maybe your Shopify dropship, crypto, Forex, high-tech guy, but I do understand that data is the wealth frontier of our time. We are in the data wealth frontier explosion. And if you are not executing on this operationally, you are never going to move into that investor seat in your business in this regard. Additionally, you've got no clue which advertising media is best to use, what type to use. There's no clarity there. And when you get something that works, you kind of think it works, but you don't really know because you don't track it. And more so, you might be getting customers in the door, top line revenue, but the throughput is so terrible, these people are actually robbing you of profit and opportunity. So these are behaviors where ChEvOs struggle operationally. All right. So again, keep score, and we'll get your score here momentarily. And then as it relates to the business of getting and keeping customers, all right, this is where ChEvOs struggle as well. They don't have a marketing plan, all right? Just because you sell insurance doesn't mean everybody that drives a car and owns a home is your customer. You have no clear marketing message that's uniquely yours alone. So what's the reason for anybody to do business with you over and above every other option, including doing nothing? What's that? You've got to have that reason to exist. You've got no clear market to target. You're not for anyone when you're for everyone. You struggle to understand which media is best and which gives you that best return on investment. If you don't have that understanding, you never can dial in and then spend advertising dollars because you need to get customers right now. Random acts of advertising, random acts of marketing, and moments of sales slumps and desperation actually can do more harm to your business than good, because you're going to spend money in an area that doesn't build an asset, that doesn't return the investment, that might very well bring you customers that cost you future profit. You've actually just impeded or impacted the cycle even more so than if you wouldn't have done anything. So you really can set yourself up for poor performance as far as getting new customers goes. Now, if that's not enough, when we look at how you might burn yourself out. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. This is the peril of working without a net, right? Discount more behaviors as far as getting customers and keeping them. You discount without rhyme and reason. You discount deeply to keep the lights on. Only you can make sure the fulfillment is 5-star perfect. You're the only one who gets reviews, and you're the only one whose customers refer to your business. So again, I ask that you're honest with yourself. Just kind of keep that score. We'll ask your score here momentarily. All right. And it's not meant to judge you. No one's going to judge you. We won't allow that. It's just, I want you to really take stock, right? I asked that question. What are you looking for? What's that impact you can have? If we can't get right with these behaviors we just set, we can't have impact. It matters. Understanding that doing everything is not a good thing. Moving to that investor seat in this regard is, in these 3 regards, the business of getting customers and keeping them, the business of the operations, and the business of sales, all in your business and life matter. And if you're struggling with these behaviors, shifting to that investor seat just is not going to be full and complete for yourself. And it needs to be. Otherwise, you never do life and business on your terms. All right. So when we talk about the throughput of this, right, like key indicators that you're burnt out as a ChEvO, you rarely read or take in new information to grow your business because you just don't have time. You're mentally, physically, your calendar's booked out. Every time you go to sit down, a new fire comes in with an email alert or a text alert or a phone call, and it just goes by the wayside. There's little free form planning time. I call it scheming time, right? Like for me, when I'm scheming, like you can kind of see like smoke flying off of my ears, right? So I use that in a positive way. Scheming time, planning, big picture thinking. You return emails, texts, messages at all hours of the day. That is a tremendous indicator that there are no systems in the business to actually help it work for the customer and for you, because that's the way it should be. And then you're canceling plans with family, friends in favor of business, or worse, you're just not even planning it. There's like no set time, there's no plan, nothing. And this is not living life on your terms at all. It's really having life dictate what its terms are to you. And that needs to end. It's an indication that you're burnt out. You're burnt out on this behavior of being a chief everything officer. So I see we've got some, and again, Chris is managing the comments as I run through this. So we're going to ask for you to, again, get a chance to enter to win the donation giveaway. Enter your score. What'd you get? I think we had about 30 different behaviors. So what was your score? Was it 12, 15, 7, 22? It's okay. Whatever the score is, it is. We're here to help you understand it and then give you some things to think about to move forward with it, right? That idea of shifting into that investor seat, what holds you back from making that shift? Take a sip of water here. Chris, so we had some comments. Did we have any questions?
No questions that I'm seeing coming in here just yet. It's a lot of information, so I'm sure there are some folks that are sort of scrambling and doing the math and adding them up. And I know, Jeff, as I was going through it, and I'm spinning some plates here backstage and clicking on some stuff, but I'm trying to keep score myself in the business that I have. And I'm probably in the 20s if I'm being honest. And there was a lot of stuff here that I just as a business owner, you get so involved and wrapped, and you take ownership of a lot of things, and it's really tough because it's like your baby in a lot of ways, and to delegate that to someone and trust that person is going to be able to do at least try to come close to what you're used to doing yourself when you're involved in the business. And I think expectations may be a thing for someone. Like if you're going to delegate a task to someone, maybe they're not going to do it like you do, but how do you, as a ChEvO or how do you get past that and look to delegate that so that you can then move on and be able to live the life that you would choose?
Yeah. I mean, I think people look at delegation, they look at what comes with that as, well, I don't want to have to micromanage this. I feel like that'll do that. That's not my personality. People don't like to be managed and led that way. So the reality is, investors, when you take that investor seat, operate as that investor in your business, you set expectations, you set parameters for excellence. And most importantly is you overmanage for the outcome, right? You clearly communicate. And again, this goes all the way back to what you're looking for. You clearly communicate, what is the goal of this process? What do we want our customers to feel, experience, buy, get from us? How do we help them achieve their goal? And then everything along the way has to support that. And when the whole team's pulling in the direction, every rein, every thread of that goal, that's where you overmanage the experience. This is how investors explode their business seemingly overnight. It's of course not overnight because it takes some time to do the work, but they buy into this and they follow the process, set those expectations, parameters for excellence, communicate what it looks like, feels like, and happens, and then they work it.
That's great. We're still so if you've got your ChEvO score in the comments, or if you're watching right now on Facebook and YouTube, or if you're in one of the many Facebook groups that and viewing this, if you go to thebigticketlife.live, hit us with your favorite charity in the chat. We're going to fire up the prizelator. It's got a full tank of gas, and we're going to donate $100 to your favorite charity today in your name. So if you have not done that yet, please hit us up in the chat and do that for us. So Jeff, like in terms of micromanagement versus it sounds to me like a someone who's a ChEvO just can't let go of these things and move into the investor seat in their business, and they don't see it. They can't, like, they can't see the forest for the trees. They're busy. They're a grinder, right? They're
Right.
someone that maybe doesn't take vacation days and then brags about it and wears it as a badge of honor, right?
Right.
What about that mindset? Someone who is just like all about grinding, all about working, all about getting in, waking up at 4 a.m. and just until they crash at midnight. How do you work with someone to kind of get past that mindset and really focus on the things that are important for them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you use the word crash, right? Like a crash, people crash out, and they wear these behaviors as a badge of honor, which really is hiding the fact that we don't have that direction. We don't have that clear goal on how we're impactful right now today, how everything we do in our life and in our business needs to properly communicate, set an expectation, and then excel at delivering on the promise. And, this ChEvO type behavior, we choose to wear that badge of honor and display those behaviors in place of doing the real work of having absolute clarity on how we do life in business on our terms, right? So as I roll in, so I hope that answers the question, right?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it does. So as we roll in, moving on in our time today, wearing that badge of honor really it hides the fact that we're micromanaging things. It hides the fact that we're not clear on our absolute goal. And I just want to circle this back to how this is relevant on Main Street, how this is relevant on competing in an Amazon world. Well, if you've read the book The Everything Store by Jeff Bezos, right, founder of Amazon, it's a very clear manifesto on how his intention and plans are to essentially take over your world, right? And it's very clear. There's absolute clarity there. And while there's no shame in hard work, there's no shame in long days, we really shouldn't be living a life where we have life impacting itself on us. We should have that impact on our lives, on our businesses, on those we help, right? So when we think about what we're looking for, it really comes now down to what's stopping you. For most people, it's that fear of failure, right? Their family and their peers have their belief system. Maybe your immediate family is like, we're comfortable where we're at. We don't want to risk these things that we have now. Your peers, they kind of see what you're doing, and maybe it's jealousy. Maybe they have that vision of you from high school in their mind, not giving you the credit for how you've evolved over time, right? Your industry might look at you and say, well, that doesn't work. I face that all the time in the retail business I own. Well, that's not going to work because we do things this way, right? So you get to decide, right? Doing life in business on your terms. That's what a big ticket life is all about. So everything you then desire to do, support your community, have a great team of employees that you're impactful in their life, have meaningful moments with your family, often, like all the time. Doing life and business on your terms, that's what it means. And when we stray away from that, we don't have clarity on how we get there, life impacts itself on us. And that's just a terrible existence. And I hate to see it happen for people. So, like I touched on it early on, my business partner, Ben, was on the line. My core retail business is a mattress retail store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We don't advertise on price. We don't do the things our peers, our industry expects of us. We don't do same day delivery. We don't promise lowest price guarantee or we'll beat it by 10%. We don't do any of the conventional stuff that you, maybe as somebody who's bought something from a mattress store in years past, would think we do. And in spite of all of that, our business does 3 times the volume of what most normal stores do, like what the good benchmark and measurement is in our industry for revenue per door. We're doing 3 times that volume, almost being the anti-mattress store, being the antithesis of what everybody else does. So to answer, truly what you're looking for, right? It's possible that you've got to let go of the baggage that friends, peers, family expect of you, your industry expects of you. But the real reality is you kind of have to let go of your own baggage, right? And this is how investors think. Like they have absolute clarity on the business, and they don't let these external forces really control you and dictate the day, right? So we've discussed this big question, what you're looking for. We've gone over our ChEvO behaviors. And now we're going to talk about baggage in your response, right? So baggage is what drags us down. And I want you to think about your baggage using this analogy. It's called my suitcase analogy, right? So your baggage might be made up of a number of different things. These things all go into the baggage, and maybe it's like a giant big Samsonite, right? It's very hard to lug around. It doesn't serve a purpose well other than to store a bunch of stuff that's massive to move, okay? An alternate way to think about baggage and how you respond to it, how you carry it around, how you address it is maybe you manage it a little bit better, right? You got the extendo handle on a bag. It's got some wheels, still a big compartment, right? Nothing's organized. It's all a mess. Then you've got the third one, right? Multi-directional bag, multi-directional wheels, ergonomic handle, composite material, right? It's got enhanced pockets. You might even be able to charge your phone. You can compartmentalize things. And I'm not here to tell you to forget baggage, right, as a theme. I'm here to help you think of how to manage it, how to best respond in your day and drop these behaviors, right? So when I talk about baggage, you might be thinking, well, what the heck is he talking about here? Really, we're going to kind of get a little more personal. It's about trauma from your past, right? It could be with your parents. It could be with friends. It could be things that happened. You carry this forward, and it brings itself with you like baggage, and how you choose to handle it. We can never forget it. That's just not going to happen. But how we manage it, how we choose to respond, and how we choose to let it force itself upon us matters. So how we think about it, right? Whether it's a big old nasty Samsonite that's hard to lug around, or a really nice, easy swivel bag that's compact, that's what matters, right? Baggage could be broken relationships, those that could have or should have better loved you, right? Poor relationships with those most important to you today. Addictions, whether that's a sexual addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, any other gambling addiction, any other addiction that's there, those addictions exist because of other traumas. That's a response. We are not ingrained as people to live a life addicted to drugs, live a life addicted to gambling. That's not in our DNA. What happens is we get a fragment in our being from other stuff, and that's the response. So whatever that is, it is yours to manage. I'm not here to be a psychiatrist or anything. I'm here to help you understand. Look, we've got clarity on what we're looking for. We know we've got this business. We know we've got this life, and we know we've got to shift. And when we shift into an investor seat in the business, life opens up. So we do it on our terms. And I want you to think about how this past trauma, these issues, this baggage weigh on your day. How do these issues guide and impede what you want, right? The big question, what you're looking for. How does it really manifest and control your success in life or business? So for those watching, listening right now, let's have another comment, another donation entry. Do you have baggage? Yes or no? And maybe as a little, to kind of put a visual to this, Chris, if we can get the baggage slide up and have people think about it this way to drive home what I was describing. So you can choose to carry it around real hefty style with the old school, big old Samsonite bags there on the left of your screen. You could choose, all right, I'm going to handle it a little better with an improved bag with some wheels and a handle. Or on the right, you could choose to say, you know what, I'm never going to forget this stuff. It's there. It's always going to be there, but I'm going to choose to manage it better. I'm going to think of it on this day as compartmentalized. I'm going to think of it on this day as easy to manage. I'm going to think on this day as easy to handle. And that's what I would challenge you to think of in your day, in your life, with what you might have gone through in the past. Because when you think of it this way, it becomes a little easier. I don't want you to forget. You can't forget. But how you choose to respond, how you choose to manage it is very important. Again, your competition in this quote unquote Amazon world, they have other things. You know, they've got teams of people that are compelled to just come to work and do the work, right? Because they're employees. And, you know, that big old checkbook and bank account that seems bottomless for them kind of fixes this stuff. But for us as owners of our business, and soon to be hopeful investors in your business, we've got to have some tools to think about it just a little differently. All right. So again, type in the comments of yes or no. And if you're so inclined and feel like sharing, you carrying around that Samsonite, that roller bag or a swivel bag, you know, is it a little easier for you or is it a little harder? It's okay. Again, no one's going to judge you here, but I just want you to think of that. It's been tremendously helpful to me. And on this note, if you feel like we're making a connection and you want to talk on a little more personal level, shoot me a message in the DMs and we can connect on this topic. I'd be happy to do so. All right. If you found this part of how we win on Main Street, how we lead ourselves to living that big ticket life. If you've found this helpful or got you thinking, reach out and we could talk some more on that topic privately. All right. Before I move on, just again, as a little reminder, tomorrow I'll be showing a whole bunch of examples. Got a big old box of them here. They'll be organized for tomorrow. We're going to dive deep into them at a future session. So you go to thebigticketlife.com/swipe file and we'll get a session together on Zoom and I'll dive deep into these examples of the tools needed, the tactical tools, right? Like this is going to be a toolbox display of how to win on Main Street in this Amazon world that we're in. So again, today is really about helping you understand what you're looking for and uncover that true desire that you've got for your life and business. What's held you back, how you choose to handle your growth is very, very important. Your growth comes as a result of how you handle obstacles, how you handle hurdles, how you handle competitions, right? How you handle the opportunities in front of you. Some people say yes to everything. Some people say no to everything. Others have a better balance of it, right? They say yes until it's time to say no. Sometimes that's a quick yes. Sometimes it's a quick no. But all of how you respond to those opportunities, what dictates your growth, the hurdles that come your way, the competition that might come into your neighborhood, how you handle it's directly tied to you, right? Your mood, your traumas of the past, and how you manage it, right? That baggage example. It's on you to manage it. And some days, that baggage is going to be a Samsonite. It's all right. Maybe it's on an anniversary of things that happened. Maybe there's a time of the season that does it. Any number of things that kicks it off. It's all right. Tomorrow, put it in that swivel bag, put it in that easy to manage, compartmentalized thing, and get back to leading yourself towards that investor seat for that big ticket life where life and business is done on your terms. So once you get clear about all of this and how it impacts directly how you can succeed, now you can begin to understand that when you're working to set those expectations, working to set that excellence, how your team, your family come back to you, maybe what's happening is what you experience as a lash out, what you experience as objection, it really is them dealing with their own stuff. And that's okay too. Hopefully you can take, if you're, down with this example, so to say, if you like this idea, you could share it and together you can work on how you interact with each other. Because again, the environment you're in directly impacts the success you're going to have and that ability for you to move into that investor seat. And again, none of this is about leaving your team. None of it's about leaving your family. It's all about lifting up so that rising tide lifts everybody's ship. So everybody around you succeeds. Everybody around you wins. And we should all want that. We want our family relationships to be better. We want our employee relationships to be better. We want our vendors to be better. We want to do more business with them because they need to win and succeed as well. We're all part of this together, right? So building up resistance to all of this is important, right? Because that head trash, which is some of what we're talking about, I like to call it baggage, keeps you held back, right? From that success, keeps you held back from that investor seat, keeps pushing the chair out of the way and makes you sit down in the entrepreneur chair or in the owner chair, right? And you need to understand that that's the battle that life's trying to give you, right? Life's trying to impart on you. And that pushback, resistance, that objection, those roadblocks, those aren't the demons of your past, right? That's not the trauma coming back out. It's those people responding in that way. They're not there to, like, so to say, cut you per se, right? They're not there to inflict that trauma. That's how you're manifesting it in your head. They're responding because we're not leading effectively. We need to lead effectively. We need to help them understand that this shift from entrepreneur to owner to investor is profound, it's important, and it's going to raise everybody's win factor. Like, we're going to win more, we're going to win often, we're going to win faster, and we're going to win bigger, right? And that's very, very, very important. So the more you can communicate how your goals, your shift into life and business on your terms, that shift into the investor seat into your business, everybody can carry the weight of that easily. Everybody can start pulling in all the directions. Everybody starts getting together and understanding that my leader is leading me effectively to where we dictate the rules. We dictate how life happens around here. We dictate the business, and we dictate what success is and isn't. And really simply, when you're in doubt on any of this, you run into the fire. You do the opposite of what others are doing. I have been the contrarian most of my life, in action, in words, in how I build things, create things. It leads you to be bold and to be different. When you run into the fire and you do the opposite of what others are doing, it's kind of like 1 + 1 = 2. You will invariably be bold and be different. And that's another key way to win on Main Street in this Amazon world, right? Because all those big factors, right? The big equity banks, the big chains, the big boxes, the Wall Street companies, they fly to the lowest common denominator, bring in their boardroom expertise, and cut profit and just go down to price. But when we're bold and different and deliver on a promise of truly helping who we serve, we succeed. And when we operate ourselves as an investor in our business, we really truly get to do life and business on our terms. So the question that I have for you now is about, are you doing something special? Is it bold? Is it different? Do you have something that's unique? All right. So if you do, yes or no, put it in the comments. Is it special? And can you make it special? Can you demonstrate how it's special? I think that's very important, because we have to demonstrate to our prospective customer that we've got something different, we've got something unique, and we can truly, truly help them. So I'm going to take a pause for a water break. Chris, how have we been doing on the comments? Looks like we've had some come through. I'm paying attention to what I need to give to people.
Yeah, we've got a couple people that are not ready to open their suitcases yet, but
Okay.
just a reminder for those that are watching, any comments going to have you enter to donate $100. We're donating $100 to the charity of your choice today, so let us know that. Yeah, so Jeff, you talked a little bit about, you spent a little bit of time on running into the fire and doing things differently, and being a contrarian. I mean, I think a lot of us see on our feeds and our algorithms and YouTube and social media that everybody's got it seems to have everything, all this stuff figured out, and how they're doing it, and put these things in a box, and well, this person's doing it this way, so I need to be doing it this person. Do you feel that that's the case? Is that or can you expand a little bit on that?
No, I mean, I don't feel that everybody else has it figured out. You said, what the algorithms show us. And boy, a truer statement has never been made. The algorithms are controlled by by the Amazon world, right? Encompassing all the big tech giants. The algorithm shows us what they want. I don't think anybody listening to this live or in the future could refute the fact that our big tech overlords have a defined goal. And so they do show us what they want, right? Which fits into their mold. Well, I don't want to be in anybody's mold. I don't think you do. I don't think anybody listening here does, right? That's not why we've gotten into what we do. That's not why we've decided to carve our own path and own our own business. So no, very few actually have it figured out. It's been trial and error. The difference is they've failed faster. They've rebounded faster. They've tried different approaches. They have resiliency, but most importantly, they have inputs, right? They're stepping outside the algorithm. They're looking for new information, looking to make new connections and introduce new things into their ecosystem, so to say, shock the water, right? If you've ever owned fish, you got to shock the water every so often. You can't dump it all out. You kill the fish, but you got to shock the water. So if you're not failing faster, looking to be more resilient, finding ways to rebound without feeling like the baggage of the past is coming to bring you down again, that's all very important. And what helps that is those inputs. It's reading, it's podcasting, it's taking time right here with me and with Chris and tomorrow and Thursday. It's bringing that into your world to fight off that algorithm because they do want you to play the game. I don't want to play that game. That's not life and business on my terms. That's them on their terms, making me be a part of it. And it's just not going to happen. So, yep.
Awesome.
That's what I
Thank
say
you.
there. Yeah. Well, thank you for the focus there. So one last call. Well, not one last call, but it's maybe a second last call about comments. Comment. I'd love to give $100 to your charity. So the last thing on our board, squish proof. All right. So this comes from Shark Tank, right? As a business owner, you probably watch Shark Tank. You watch it religiously. Maybe you catch highlights. If you've not heard it, one of the lines that's famous made by Kevin O'Leary is, they're going to squish you like the cockroaches you are. And that's said in response to people who stand on the pitch deck. They get through their couple minutes. They announce their sales. They announce their profit. And then O'Leary's like right in on them, right? He's like, well, you're going to get squished because you got no patent. You've got no intellectual property. There's nothing special about you. Anyone with a big checkbook could be in your business this afternoon and take you out. And in some cases, that is the truth, right? So I'm not here to discuss patents and intellectual property because that's not my world. What I'm here in the time today, for the rest of our time today and tomorrow, especially and Thursday, okay, that time is about squish proofing the business. That time is about the foundational elements, the foundational secrets for success, to freedom and fortune, to unlock that on Main Street in this Amazon world, right? Because when we employ these things, and we'll touch on them briefly here, when we employ them in the business, deep dive tomorrow on them, we begin to become squish proof. All right. And this is about how you make not only the business, but your life squish proof. So if you were on that carpet, right? If you were on the pitch deck on Shark Tank, pitching your thing, you would be able to demonstrably say, here are all the things we do that cannot be easily replicated by simply writing a check. And I lead them because I demand this business runs on my terms. And when you define your terms, you define life on your terms. You're not brought into that algorithm, sucked into the nothingness of it. And you really begin to succeed in this Amazon world. All right. All of our businesses are meant to serve us first. Our goals, our purposes, and our missions support all of that. And our life has to come first. It simply does. If we can't do that, we really just have jobs with the stresses of owning a business. So, if you think about it this way, if you're pushing off on this idea of shifting into the investor seat in your business. Think about this. As you should, you make your employees happy by giving them a good environment to work in, and you pay them, right? Like, you never not want to pay your employees, but you pay them first. You pay your landlords first. They're always happy with your rent check. If you own your building, you still pay your taxes, you pay your fees to the city. You make your vendors happy with on-time payables. Maybe if you're ebbing and flowing from that entrepreneur to owner seat, never even realizing there's an investor seat, maybe your payables aren't on time all the time. Your advertisers get happy because you pay them, but there's a long list of people that aren't happy. That's your spouse, your children, your family, your friends. Most importantly, you're not happy. So like, I'm going to challenge you to flip that table, right? Begin that new path, build that new bridge, so your goals and your dreams really do happen. And I truly, truly mean that. I hate nothing more than to see people go through business life ownership. Really, they could have done better if they just shut the doors and went and worked for somebody else, because they struggled to get out of those ChEvO behaviors. They never understood they need to take that position as an investor in their own business. That chair is there. It's right here. Here's a little chair right here. You can take it. It's right there for you to take in your own business. You need to take that investor seat and make it happen for yourself. So, one last chance for commenting. If you're type yes in the comments, where you're watching. If you're ready to flip the table over, start that new path and take over that investor seat in your business. Because if you're going to win in an Amazon world, you've got to be able to govern your business in the manner that they do. You have to think about it as an investor. So just type yes or no if you're ready to take the controls in that investor seat and stop being a ChEvO. So as I said, one last time, tomorrow we dig in to the foundational elements. I'm going to touch on them here in a minute as we wrap up. And I want to show you, dig in, but I can't in an hour tomorrow dig into everything that's in this box. So if you want to get a presentation for that, go to thebigticketlife.com/swipe files. Just send your name and email there. Right there on your screen it is. And you'll have the opportunity to join me on a session where I'll share all that with you. So living the big ticket life, right, supported by a big ticket business, when done right, means that you get to do life and business on your terms. And, you know, a big ticket business owner living a big ticket life isn't worried about what Amazon offers. They're not worried about the newest thing, you know, started up in your town by an equity firm. They're not worried about how this competitor combines with this one. You know, they have tools in place that have squish-proof their business. They're not going to be stomped out like the cockroach Kevin O'Leary says they might be. Okay. A big ticket business owner does these things so they can do life and business on their terms. I've helped with these foundational secrets, these foundational elements to winning on Main Street. I've helped bowling centers, decking and railing companies, insurance agencies, chiropractors, real estate investment firms, furniture stores, financial planners, all put them on a path to squish-proof their business. All of them had big box stores, equity banks, Wall Street, online solutions, you name it. It exists in every niche. It exists in your niche. I know it does. But the reality is you can affect business, do life business on your terms when you sell face-to-face, and you can show people you've got something unique and you've got something special. And we do that. And what we're going to dig in tomorrow and Thursday on growth assets. We're going to talk about where to look for, how to create, why you need to create, what they are, create these growth assets in your business. So that's one. Second one is experiential touch points. We're going to talk about Disneyfying your business in every regard, like out Disney. Again, if I can do it in retail mattress stores with like the most utilitarian purchase, the industry at large has dumbed it down enough where something comes compressed and rolled on your doorstep. If I can do it in light of that fierce competition with hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars of investment, you can adopt experiential touch points in your business. That's 2. Third one's what I call E equals MC squared, right? The complex made simple. Okay. Putting complexity into your business, leading it, setting that clear goal of expectation excellence so the customer feels it, sees it, gets it. That's what I'm talking about. E equals MC squared. Your customer feels it, they get it, they understand it, and your team performs because it's simple, but they understand there's a lot behind to it. E equals MC squared, experiential touch points and growth assets. We're going to get down on that tomorrow. All right. As we wrap up, we're right at the top of the hour, so I'm not too bad for a whole 1 hour of content. Remember your comments, enter you into the prize later, where we pick a winner at random at the end of the day. Chris, we made it day 1, first hour. I think that's great.
We did. Yes,
yeah,
we did.
So one last chance to get in for you, those listening live. Biggest takeaway from day 1. I'd love for you to type it in now. And it's all right if you don't. I get it. Just think about it to yourself. Chris, any little bow you want to put on our first session here today?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of times, there was day 1, people are like, you're hitting them with a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of people are going to be watching this on the replay, Jeff, and maybe are going to want some of the slides for collateral materials, and I think there's just a lot of great information that's been passed along, and now we've got 2 more days, right? But those that have been watching, share this with somebody else could be positively affected by the information that Jeff has shared. This is something he's obviously passionate about, and is great information for businesses on Main Street. And you could always get the show by going to the Big Ticket Life .live, and when you do that, it's going to take you to the YouTube channel. You could subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll get reminders if you hit that little bell. Lots of great information, Jeff. This is awesome, and man, the gas tank's full. I can't wait to fire up the prizelator and see what charity we're giving $100 away to here. So let's add the prizelator and see who wins.
There we go.
We may have to hit it a couple times because the Big Ticket Life is somehow in here. I think because I've made some chats, so we'll see. Toy and Model on YouTube is the winner. So Toy and Model, hit us up here in the chat. Any of the comments, you could do it on the YouTube.
Chris, I found it, and it's awesome because Toy and Model's chosen charity is NCAR Animal Rescue.
Oh, here it is. Yes, thank you for that.
Yep, I love animal rescues. We foster dogs from time to time, and we have rescue dogs. So that's awesome. I'm happy to donate $100 to that charity. So I will make sure it's the right one before I do it, but we'll get it done. So I firmly believe.
And Harvey, you were so close.
You were
so close, Harvey. But you never know. Every day.
Come back tomorrow.
So, yes, that's right. And so maybe the Barks Animal Shelter that Harvey's got will be the winner tomorrow. But yeah, certainly congratulations to Toy and Model, and what a great charity.
Yep, wonderful. So I'll get that out later today. Part of a Big Ticket Life, Big Ticket Business is about supporting the community that supports your business. I truly believe that. Chris actually helps us host from our retail business a whole podcast focused solely on supporting the community that supports us. So as we wrap up, I'll give Chris an unannounced plug for the work he does. If you've liked the look, the feel, the execution, he's played a big part of it. Cast Ahead is his company, and he can definitely help you put on content and podcast shows like this. So that is day 1. We're like 5 minutes over, which I think is okay. And I really appreciate you all hanging in. Appreciate you watching this on the recording. Look forward to bringing you day 2 tomorrow. We'll go over the growth assets, the experiential touch points, and E equals MC squared, the foundational secrets for how you win on Main Street in an Amazon world. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 12 noon East Coast time. See you soon. If you're going to live a big ticket life and do business in life on your terms, you got to do big things. It's that kind of discernment, that kind of focus, that kind of forward thinking that's so important if you're going to succeed in business today. And so you unlock fortune and freedom without all the stress that normally comes along with it. The things that make your life successful so you do life and business on your terms.